Hello everyone, welcome back to part 3 of What If Naruto Could Copy Kekkei Genkai. We left off with the Forest of Death exam starting. Although Naruto is much stronger now, when they encounter Orochimaru, everyone in Team 7 is scared, and Naruto has to fight with Orochimaru's summoning snake. Naruto in this timeline is able to beat this snake a lot quicker, and comes back to fight Orochimaru. Naruto at this point is getting angry, and the Kyuubi chakra would begin leaking. Orochimaru would blitz at Naruto, however, Naruto would manage to dodge, only receiving a small scratch. Naruto would then counter with 1,000 flying water needles, and would send them flying into Orochimaru. Orochimaru would then shed his skin, and would be perfectly fine again. Naruto would then blitz towards Orochimaru with Sasuke, and they would attack him again and again. Sasuke would then use his wire to pin him to the tree and then light him on fire, and Orochimaru would shed his skin once again, and use the 5-pronged seal to seal the 9 tails again, and would then quickly stretch his neck to place the curse mark on Sasuke. Sasuke and Naruto would then fall unconscious, and Sakura would have to look after them. The same as in canon would happen with Sakura fighting Dosu, Zaku, and Kin. Sakura would beat Kin, however Kin would stand up after, catching Sakura off guard and tugging on her hair. This is when Sakura would remember Naruto, Sasuke, and Lee protecting her. She would then cut her hair and attack Zaku. Zaku would get stabbed by Sakura, and would then attack Dosu, however Dosu slammed Sakura away, and Zaku would attack her too. This is when Rock Lee would jump in, and would try to protect Sakura. However, Dosu would use his sound waves to destroy Lee's balance, and after that, he had no chance against Dosu. Dosu would then attempt to get Sakura, however Lee would manage to knock him away, but then Dosu soon after would rush at Lee, knocking him unconscious too. Ino, Choji, and Shikamaru would then jump in, as they had been watching the entire fight, and they would begin to fight Dosu and Zaku. They would eventually get overwhelmed. Neji and Tenten would be watching over when a purple light begins emanating from the bush. Neji would then say, "Someone seems to have it under control." He would then take Lee, and they would begin heading towards the center. Meanwhile, Sasuke now has half the curse mark on his face, and asks Sakura who hurt her. Zaku would then say he did. Sasuke would then have the entire curse mark form on his face. Zaku would then use giant splicing sound waves, however Sasuke takes Naruto and Sakura behind Zaku, and then looks at Zaku. Zaku would then begin to get quite scared, and he would then fire another attack at Sasuke. However, Sasuke would then blitz behind Zaku and break his arms. Sakura would then tell Sasuke to stop, as he seemed like a different person. His curse mark would then disappear, and he would return to normal. Sasuke's showing causes Dosu to say that they will retreat for now. Naruto would then wake up, and then they would go finish the mission, as in canon. They would meet Kabuto, and he would help them pass the exam and defeat the ninja ambushing people. They would then enter the finishing room, and they would decide to open the scrolls. This would lead them to meeting Iruka, who would explain how they did a good job. Naruto would jump to Iruka, thanking him. Naruto would then hear from Iruka that there will be another exam held soon. This would be the preliminary rounds. All the passing genin would head to the stadium, where Hiruzen would explain the rules. With that, the preliminaries would then begin. The first matchup would be Sasuke vs Yori, and as Team 7 still told Kakashi that Sasuke got the curse mark, Kakashi had tasked Sasuke with winning without chakra. The same as in canon, with Sasuke winning would happen, however, due to his extra training, he would win easier. The next fight would be Shino vs Zaku. Shino would end up winning the fight just like in canon, as he would use his bugs to make Zaku self-destruct his own arms. After that is Misumi versus Kankuro, and Kankuro would win. These are basically just fodder fights. After that is Ino versus Sakura, and although Sakura is stronger than she was in canon, through sheer willpower, Ino is able to draw enough power to draw with Sakura. However, Ino would be more injured than Sakura, as she was just barely holding on. Tenten would then lose to Temari quite easily, which is no surprise. After, Shikamaru would beat Kin, and the next fight is Naruto versus Kiba. And unlike in canon, where Naruto would win by luck, Naruto would dodge all of Kiba's attacks with ease, and would completely humiliate him. Naruto would then swiftly get behind Kiba, without him realizing, and Naruto would then stay there. Kiba finally loses his sense of smell to find out Naruto was behind him, and as Kiba would turn around, Naruto would chop Kiba's neck, knocking him out. After this would be Hinata versus Neji, which would go the same as in canon. However, as Hinata and Neji activated their Byakugan, Naruto would fall to the ground holding his eyes in pain. Kakashi would ask Naruto if he was okay, and Naruto would nod, holding his eyes, as he would stumble to his feet. Naruto would be holding on to the rails, and would be trying not to fall over. Sasuke would ask Naruto how he got injured, and Naruto would say he doesn't know, and he just felt an intense jolt of pain in his eyes. Naruto eventually recovering, as the fight was coming closer to an end, he would notice something, as something was different. He had an almost 360-degree vision, and he could also see chakra points. Naruto, as the fight was carrying on, would begin using his own chakra to replicate their moves, and he would be able to use the gentle fist. Naruto would also understand how to use the rotation and 64 palm technique from Neji. However, he began to see Neji beating Hinata, although the match should have been stopped. Neji would then go for a finisher on Hinata, and would have to be stopped. After this, Naruto would jump down, as Hinata was being rushed away, and would walk up to Neji. Neji would then say to Naruto, "Do you have something to say?" Naruto would then activate the Chidori, and would point it at Neji. Neji would be quite startled, as Naruto's movement speed was a lot faster than he had expected. Naruto would then see Neji about to make a move, and Naruto would say, "Don't make a move, or else." Neji would stop, and Naruto would then continue. "I don't care why you did this to Hinata, but trust me, you will not be getting any mercy when I pummel you." Kakashi would go to grab Naruto's arm, and Naruto would just deactivate the Chidori, and move his arm away, and would say, "I know, do not use this jutsu unless I must. Sorry, Kakashi-sensei." Kakashi would sigh, as Naruto would go back up to the stands. The next fight would be Lee versus Gaara, where Naruto would learn how to manipulate sand just like Gaara, and would also know how to open the gates until the 5th by watching Lee. Naruto would be amazed with Lee's power being greater than all the previous Genin, including himself, this being when he opened the 5th gate. Naruto would then see Lee about to get his leg crushed by Gaara after being greatly fatigued. Naruto would then use his newly picked up skill to manipulate the sand, and Gaara would then notice that his sand moved in a way that he did not want it to, and would be very surprised and visibly startled. Lee would then go on to almost be crushed again, when instead of Guy, Naruto would get in front of Gaara and would manipulate Gaara's sand to miss him and to stay stationary. Gaara would then say, "So it was you. I will fight you some other time." Naruto would then turn to Lee, who is stood up, but he is unconscious. Lee, however, is not injured for life, as he wasn't as badly injured by Gaara, as Naruto had stopped this from happening. But he needs to spend the next month recovering. Guy would then come up to Naruto and would thank Naruto for stepping in and saving Lee. Naruto would say it was no problem. And then they would go up to the stands to watch their last fight, which would be Choji versus Dosu. And unfortunately, Choji would lose, as nothing would change. Hiruzen would then announce the 1 month training period, and would then tell everyone that qualified to do their best. And this is the end of part 3 of What If Naruto Could Copy Kekkei Genkai. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next video.